All right, we have made it to the playoffs. Above 500 for the season. It hasn't always been pretty, but channeling my inner darts vibes. Roll the tape. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Uncle Dan's Best Bets here on the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel presented by Connors and Ferris. And we are talking playoffs. Playoffs. Yeah, we're talking playoffs. We have made it, as I said in the opening, and charging and trying to summon the inner darts vibes because we've been knocked down, but we've gotten back up several times. Hasn't always been pretty, but we are over 500 for the season. And we are making our picks. Again, Uncle Dan's Best Bets will go on as long as the Bills are in the postseason. Week 18, we went 4-3. That means we are 70, 68, and 5. For all the haters out there, I have done the audits. I have checked my math. 70, 68, and 5. 2 games over 500 for the entire regular season. Not great. Not great at all. But we are over 500, and we will look to build off that. Shoot me down. I'll get back up. So that's what we're trying to do here. Again, special shout out to Bob Johnson Auto Group, as always, for sponsoring Uncle Dan's Best Bets. Buy, lease, trade, sell, new car, whatever you need. They have been an awesome sponsor. We've worked with Daryl out in Leroy. My wife and I got a new car, as I've said plenty of times, but I just want to continue to shout them out because I really appreciate them supporting the channel. Also, anybody, I'm recording this on Friday afternoon, anybody that came out to the live show of the Thirsty Turtle, that was awesome. Can't say thank you enough for everybody that came out. Basil, some of the other guys that have, I know have followed along for the picks. Really appreciate it, as always. Okay, so we are here at the playoffs. We are going to continue. This is where we're really going to try and get that 10, 12 game mark over 500. So as long as the Bills keep winning, we will keep doing Uncle Dan's Best Bets. If this is the last one, which I don't think it is, we'll get to that later. But thank you, everybody, for following along. Comment in what your favorite play is for the weekend, and just really, really appreciate this. So without any further ado, I've got 7 picks, and I've got a teaser. This isn't the Uncle Ian Daddy teaser. This is just something I like as well. I will throw that in at the end. So what thing I kind of looked at some of these games. I've got a play on every single game minus the Packers-Eagles game. Just so much indecision there. I can see things that go both ways. Besides that, though, I got to play in every single game. So 7 plays and the teaser. Underdogs, though. The favorites, I think, this year were a little bit over 60%. Since 2017, underdogs in the wild card round are 24-12 against the spread. In general, underdogs sit in the playoffs since 2017, 52-34. So dogs bark in the postseason historically since 2017. So that is something to factor in mind as I'm trying to give you stats and information on both sides of the aisle, okay? Because I've got a couple plays that I like, but I can also point to stats that say this isn't a great idea. But it's what my vibes are. This is what we're going with, okay? So we're starting out Saturday afternoon. It's the annual Texans playoff game in the afternoon. But I like the Chargers. No secret, I have been fading the Texans just because they put together a couple of drives against a bad Titans team, which I was so wrong about last week. That's probably the worst play of the year because the Titans are just really bad. But the Chargers are not. Chargers are good. I will lay the number minus 2.5. They're the favorite at Houston. So a few things. Chargers defense, both these defenses, I think the parts are better than the sum, meaning I think players on the team on both sides of the defense are studs. But as a whole, I don't think it's an overall, neither defense is great. Now you can look at some statistics. The Chargers are like 3rd best in points allowed per game. And then DVOA for the Texans is like 6th or 7th overall. So you could sit there and say these are great defenses. Well, Justin Herbert's been pretty good. I know it's a dumb stat, but he's 12-4 against the spread in Eastern and Central time zones. So that's something. The bad news is the Chargers are playing their 3rd road game in a row, which is something I don't like to usually bet on. I usually fade those teams. But I just think this Texans team is so flawed. I think the Chargers can expose some of their offense. And for as good as, the Chargers defense, where I'm sitting there saying it's okay, statistically, they are pretty good not allowing points, and CJ Stroud has been really bad against good defenses this year. Against teams that allow 19 points or fewer this year, Stroud has averaged 14 points per game in those 4 games. So that's why I'm leaning Chargers. It's nothing new. I really kind of have been off this Texans team. The injuries, everything seems to be mounting up, limping into the playoffs, all of those things. So I like the Chargers -2.5. You probably knew it was going to be on here. Hey, Steelers bailed us out last week, right? How about Boswell bombing one for 50 to cover us with the hook? Yeah, I thought that was dead. Steelers stink, but 9.5 points is just too many points in this rivalry. The underdog, I think these are some of the similar stats I've given out earlier in the year. The underdog in the last 20 years of the Steelers-Ravens rivalry is 29, 11, and 3 against the spread, 73%. Since 2015, the underdog is 16, 3, and 1 against the spread. And in the Tomlin-Harbaugh era, when those two teams match up, the underdog is 25, 9, and 3. Crazy. Now, in the playoffs, the underdog is just 1 and 2 against the spread, but they haven't played since 2015. So we're talking about two totally different teams. We're going back 10 years. It's not Lamar. It's not these teams. So that's why I'm leaning. It just seems like it's too many points. Now, the Steelers are a bad team right now, like offensively broken. But throw a lot of these records out the window when these two teams play. You just don't know what's going to happen. Could this be a Tomlin rah-rah speech? Also, there's another stat. I'll give it out here. I had it kind of for the other game. It does apply here. Super Bowl winning quarterbacks as a playoff dog are 14 and 4 since 2018 against the spread. Russell Wilson is a Super Bowl winning quarterback. He's a dog. So the numbers say historically cover the spread. This is also going off. I think the Steelers defense shows up, and Lamar has struggled in the postseason. He just has. This isn't an indictment for all the Raven fans that have flooded this channel. It's not an indictment. He has just struggled in the postseason. He has struggled historically against the Steelers. I know he beat them earlier this year. The bad stat, if you want to go the other way, this will be the 3rd straight playoff game that the Steelers have been underdogs of 9 or more points. They were underdog to Buffalo last year, and they were an underdog the year before to Kansas City, and they were outscored in those 2 games 73-38. They have trailed by like 20-something points in like their last 5 playoff games. That's the bad stat. That's the one I'm not going with, but full disclosure, I want to give them both sides to you. All right, so that's what it is. So that is for Saturday. I will just think it's too many points and too big of a matchup. All right, Sunday night. I said I'm passing on the Eagles-Packers game. The fact that they don't have the big wide receiver that I'm drawing a blank on right now. Christian Watson, the fact that he's not there for the Packers, I think really changes their offense. You can look at numbers on both sides. LaFleur, revenge spot. But Jalen Hurts against good playoff teams. The Packers have been bad against good teams this year. So I'm just going to pass on it. I'd lean Packers because it just seems like it's too many points for a really close game. We'll go with that. All right, so we move on into the Sunday night game. Bucks, give me the Bucks, -3 versus the Commanders. Experience matters in this spot here, okay? Teams with experience versus teams without experience, like Jaden Daniels and this Commanders team. In the wild card round, the team with the experience, 30, 15, and 1 against the spread. Going with experience. Jaden Daniels been a great story. Defense is okay. Maybe it's gotten better than bad throughout the season. Bucks just seem like this team that is playoff caliber at times. It hasn't always been pretty. They just find ways to win some games. I like Todd Bowles against a rookie quarterback. Rookie quarterbacks have not been good historically in their first playoff game. I think they're like 30% against the spread, and I think that's even lower when they go on the road. So I had that stat somewhere. Don't have it on me this second, but rookie quarterbacks playing their first playoff game, not great. Rookie quarterbacks playing their first playoff game on the road, even worse. So Jaden Daniels, I'll bet against him. I'll bet on Todd Bowles. May not be the greatest head coach, but he can coach up a defense and confuse a rookie quarterback. So I will lay the small number. I'll lay the 3 for the Bucks against the Commanders. And then finally, the Monday night game, which has now been moved because of the terrible, terrible wildfires out in LA. The Rams are +3 at home versus the Vikings. I will take the Rams in this one. Goes back to the experience matters. Team with playoff experience versus a team without it, okay? Also, the big thing, I don't know how well the Vikings will get back up from getting punched in the mouth in that Week 18 game. How much does that linger, I guess, is part of my question. Plus, teams that have just played the Lions the following week are 4-12 against the spread. The Lions just beat you up. So how do you handle that? I actually like the Rams defense more than I like their offense this year, and I'm still getting Sean McVay with some extra rest. Good coach, could throw everything at him. I think he'll have some answers. And again, it's that Super Bowl winning quarterback stat, 14-4 against the spread since 2018 as a dog. So that leads us to the Bills game. So those are those plays. 2 plays in the Bills game. Bills minus 8.5. I will lay it. I think they win by double digits. 2 touchdowns. I think they're ahead by double digits most of this game. I get it. The Broncos have no pressure. But when teams don't have pressure, that's because they're not usually a good team. Like think back to when the Bills broke the playoff drought in 2017. Awesome. They go to Jacksonville. There's no pressure on them. There's no pressure on them because they're not a good team. Do you know why there's pressure on the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Ravens this year? Because they're good teams. So I know all week you can break down film and you can look at this and say, oh, the Broncos have this and they got that and they have this. But they have no pressure because they don't have any expectations because they're not that good of a team yet. They have struggled against good teams. So I'm not getting fooled by that. Sean McDermott has been really good against rookie quarterbacks. I already gave you the rookie quarterback trend. So I think the Bills win this spot comfortably. I think it's 31-17, something like that. And that's a late Broncos who cares touchdown. There is some concern about, can the Bills passing defense be good enough? They're like the best in the league on first down. They are the worst in the league on third down. There is a concern there. But at the end of the day, it's still Josh Allen. It's still Sean McDermott. It's still the Bills at home in a wild card round, which they have been very good at. So I will take the Bills. I will lay the big number, minus 8.5. And probably my favorite play, and it's the last one before the teaser, Josh Allen over 43.5 rushing yards. It is right now on DraftKings. Josh has played 10 postseason games. He has rushed for over 50 yards in 7 out of those 10. This is when Josh doesn't care about his body anymore. He will put it on the line in these big spots. So I will lay that number and expect Josh to go over 50 for the game. Or over 43.5. Sorry. 43.5 is the number on DraftKings. I'm sure it'll probably go up closer to game time. I don't have anything else right now. The Khalil Shakir number, I haven't seen anything on Ty Johnson's numbers. Some of those like receiving yards, running backs out of the backfield, trying to figure out exactly what the matchup is. So follow me along on X at Dan Fates. I may give out a couple more picks as we get closer to game time. Maybe we see what happens on Saturday night and maybe we double up on a Bills play. Finally, my teaser of the week of this wild card weekend. I like the Bills. Tease them down to minus 2.5. I know, but Dan, you just said they're going to win by double digits. Yeah, I'm not always right. So just to cover in case, Josh Allen, when he's been a favorite of 7 or more, he's like 23-1 straight up. So he doesn't always cover that, but he's been pretty damn good at winning those games, and Sean McDermott included. And I will take the over in the Commanders Bucks game. It's 50.5. You can get it down to 44.5. So you get the Bills minus 2.5 and the Bucks Commanders over 44.5. That is my teaser of the week. All over the place. Run them down real quick. Chargers minus 2.5. Steelers plus 9.5. Bucks minus 3. Rams plus 3. Bills minus 8.5. Josh Allen over rushing yards. Is that mine? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So it's 6. It's 6 in a teaser. 7 plays. Like I said, 7 plays, including the teaser is what I meant to say at the beginning. So appreciate it as always. Best of luck to you. Hope to be doing this again next week. I really think I will be. Shout out to Bob Johnson Auto Group. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe here to the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel. We appreciate it as always. Go back, watch the live podcast we did at the Thirsty Turtle the other night if you want to check that out and missed it. Appreciate it as always. Enjoy the weekend. Playoff football is here, and best of luck to all your bets this weekend.